bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So today the sutta which we are going to take is from Sutta Nipata, and it is from the second chapter, and it is the first sutta of that chapter, which is Ratana Sutta. Ratana is meaning gem or jewels. So this is giving an information about the triple gems, which is the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. It is giving information about those triple gems. So it starts as just a little background regarding the Ratana Sutta. There was a town called Vesali, and that town had a plague, or many diseases were kind of plagued by the people. And then Buddha was invited into that town by the king. And Buddha sent Ananda, his attendant. Venerable Ananda went to the town and recited this sutta. So there are many points which are interesting in this sutta, which kind of gives a world view of the Buddha's time, and also kind of clarifies certain points, certain kind of misconceptions people have currently. That also kind of is clarified over here. Whatever beings are gathered here, whether of the earth or in the sky, may all beings indeed be happy. And then listen carefully to what is said. So it starts out with kind of good wishes or metta to all beings which are there in the earth, in the sky. And it starts out giving the good wishes or the metta. Therefore, O beings, all of you listen. Show loving kindness to human population, who day and night bring you offerings. Therefore, being indeed, therefore being heedful, protect them. So what Buddha or the Venerable Ananda first is saying is that the beings which are there, like the human beings are there, they give offerings to gods. So there is, in India, there are many categories of gods. One is called the Ishtadev, or the god which is there for our family. Then there are gods for certain powers in the like the god of the sun, god of the rain, god of the wind. So there are offerings given to them. So the Buddha acknowledges those gods and acknowledges that power of those gods. In certain conditions, currently in Buddha, the Buddha's followers, they believe that there are no gods and you should not worship any gods. But that is not the case. There is an acknowledgement that there are powers which are there, which are given due importance. In Chinese system, I think they believe in the ancestors. And in many of the suttas, there is a mention about ancestors who are gods who come and help the monks who are practicing currently. So those powers are acknowledged over here. But they are saying that as they are giving you offerings, please be heedful and protect them. Whatever treasure exists here or beyond, or the sublime gem in the heavens, there is none equal to Tathagata. This too is the sublime gem in the Buddha. By this truth, may there be safety. So what they are kind of acknowledging over here, Ananda is acknowledging that the Tathagata is more sublime than any gems in the sky. Means, and all the stars, the radiance of all the stars is also not comparable to the Tathagata. So by this truth, may there be safety. Destruction, dispassion, and deathless, the sublime, which Sakyamuni concentrated, attained. There is nothing equal to that Dhamma. This too is the sublime gem in the Dhamma. By this truth, may there be safety. So through the Dhamma, the Buddha experiences the destruction, dispassion, the deathless, and the sublime. So this states of mind which are there, the Buddha attains, and we are also able to attain those same states of mind by doing our practice of meditation. So what we are teaching in TWIM is the same practice, the same Dhamma of the Buddha. So that there is nothing equal to the Dhamma. So that is also a gem. The Dhamma is also there. The Buddha is a gem. The Dhamma is a gem. The purity that the Supreme Buddha praised, which they call collectedness without interval. The equal of that collectedness does not exist. This too is the sublime gem in the Dhamma. By this truth, may there be safety. So it is also praising the samatha aspect of the Dhamma, where your mind is collected, and based on this collectedness, you attain the wisdom. So that is praised over here. 8 persons praised by the good constitute these 4 pairs. So these are the 4 pairs, are the 8 kinds of noble people. And there are 8 pairs because there are 4 attainments of the Dhamma. One is Sotapanna, and that is the pairs are the Sotapanna path and the fruit. Then Sakadagami, path and fruit. Anagami, path and fruit. Arahant, path and fruit. So this becomes a set of 8 individuals who have progressed on the path of the Dhamma. So that are the worthy of offering, are the fortunate ones' disciples. Gifts given to them yield abundant fruit. This too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth, may there be safety. Those who strive well with a firm mind, who are desireless in Gautama's teachings, have reached attainment, having plunged into deathless, enjoying perfect peace, obtained free of charge. This too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth, may there be safety. So this is kind of explaining the mind state of an Arahant. So it is saying that those who have strived well with a firm mind, who are desireless. So when there are no desires, that is the attainment of Nibbana. Then there is no craving at that point of time. Have reached attainment. Means what is the attainment which we are all striving for is the ultimate attainment of Nibbana. Having plunged into deathless. Why is it deathless? Because there is no birth which is possible for an Arahant. When there is no birth, then there is no death. That is the reason that state is called deathless. Enjoying perfect peace, obtain free of charge. So they are peace and there is no clinging. I think that is the free of charge, what they want to mention. And that too is the sublime being in the Sangha. By this truth, may there be safety. So there are certain spelling mistake in this document. I will change, I'll kind of correct this. And when I put them on the Google Drive, and I'll share the link in the description in the YouTube. So, and I'll also share it in the WhatsApp. As a gate post planted in the ground would be unshakable by the 4 winds. Similarly, I speak of the good person who, having experienced them, see the noble truths. This too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth, may there be safety. They are giving a kind of simile. Ananda is giving a simile of a post, which is a pillar, which is firmly put in the ground. If the pillar is firmly in the ground, if there is wind blowing in any direction, it will not kind of shake the pillar because this is firmly set. So in the same way, when Arahant is there, he is firmly set in the Dhamma. So any kind of Mara who brings up any kind of issues will not be able to kind of waver their mind. In the suttas, there are many instances where the Mara comes and tries to kind of mislead even arahants. Even the Buddha, the Mara comes and tries and misleads. But the Buddha and the arahants always kind of say, I see you, Mara, and I am not able, I will not be kind of waylaid by your statements, because of that firmness in the Dhamma, because they are arahants and the Buddha, they never kind of are misled by the Mara. That is the kind of simile which is giving a visualization of a pillar firmly set in the ground. That is also a sublime gem in the Sangha. And by that truth, they are asking that there should be safety for the human beings. Those who have cognized the noble truths, well taught by the one of deep wisdom. When one taught by deep wisdom is the Buddha. Even if they are extremely heedless, do not take a eighth existence. This too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth, may there be safety. So for somebody who has cognized the noble truth is kind of giving an indication of a Sotapanna. A Sotapanna may sometimes kind of fall back and maybe break some precepts. But he always recognizes that and takes the precepts once again and continues with his life. But if the person is heedless, means he does not practice anymore after becoming Sotapanna, still he will not kind of face the eighth life. Within the seven lifetimes, he will attain awakening and will be freed from the cycle of samsara. So that is also kind of a gem in the Buddha's Sangha. So by this, they are asking that the safety there be for all human beings. Together with one's achievement of vision, three things are discarded: the view of the personal entity and doubt, whatever good behavior and observances there are. One is also freed from the four planes of misery and is incapable of doing six deeds. This too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth, may there be safety. Again, over here, this is a description of a Sotapanna. A Sotapanna will have, with seeing with vision, they will have discarded the personal entity view. They have insight into the impersonal perspective. So they have insight into that. It is not completely removed. Even an Anagami has certain amount of conceit. Only an Arahant will completely remove the impersonal nature or anatta. So he will understand. So he will kind of get insight into that, and the doubt that this path will lead to awakening is completely removed from that person. And whatever good behavior and observances are there, means he does not believe that by doing good behavior or observances, one will attain Nibbana. But that does not mean that the observances and good behavior are kind of discarded. The good behavior is accepted, and observances, when it is required as per tradition or as per conventions of the society, they are done. But they are clear that by doing those observances or by the good behavior, by keeping a Shila, that itself is not enough to attain Nibbana. Your insight into the working of the mind, how the mind is working, is important. So your practice of meditation, your contemplation of the suttas and contemplation of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha is also required to progress on the path. So that is understood. So one is freed from the four planes of misery, means he will not be reborn as an animal. He will not be reborn as a hungry ghost. He will not be reborn in the kind of the hell realms. So all those things which are the animal realms also. So all those things where there is a lot of misery, he will not be reborn. He will be, at the least, he will be reborn as a human being. So that is also a kind of gem, sublime gem in the Sangha. And by this truth, may there be safety for all human beings. Although one does a bad deed by body, speech, or mind, one is incapable of concealing it. Such inability is stated for one who has seen the state. The state means the impermanence. So the person also over here is a Sotapanna. So he may be able to do bad deeds by body, speech, or mind, but he is incapable of concealing it. Means that if he does it, he acknowledges it, that I have I have fallen off the track over here, and then takes the precepts once again and progresses. There was one famous sutta in which there is a monk who has a bad habit of drinking. He passed away, and the other monks came to the Buddha and asked him that what is his destination. The Buddha said that that monk was a Sotapanna. Then the monks were kind of really perplexed. Why is the Buddha calling him a Sotapanna? He used to drink, he used to bake a precept. Then the Buddha said that he, the last time he broke the precept, he has taken the precept once again before his death. So before his death, he had not, after taking the precept, broken any precept. So he was unable to kind of conceal that error. He had taken the precept, and after some time he had passed away. So this is kind of clearly clarifying that thing, that although one does a bad deed by body, speech, or mind, one is incapable of concealing it. Such inability is stated for one who has seen the state of impermanence. This too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth may there be safety. Like a woodland thicket with flowering crests in a summer month, in the first of the summer, just so he taught the excellent Dhamma, leading to Nibbana for the supreme welfare. This too is the sublime gem of the Buddha. By this truth may there be safety. So it is kind of giving again a simile of a very beautiful place, and how it is with full of flowers. And this is springtime where there are flowers, and the Dhamma, which is kind of leading to Nibbana, is also in the same way so beautiful. So that is also a sublime gem in the Buddha. So by this truth, may there be safety. The excellent one, knower of the excellent, giver of the excellent, bringer of the excellent. What is excellent? Excellent is the Nibbana, the release from the samsara, the release from all the suffering, release from the rebirth, which one faces in life. So that is the excellent thing. So the excellent one, knower of the excellent, giver of the excellent, bringer of the excellent, the unsurpassed one taught the excellent Dhamma. This too is the sublime gem in the Buddha. By this truth may there be safety. So the Buddha gave us a Dhamma which is excellent in all the ways. It is excellent in the beginning, it's excellent in the middle, and it's excellent in the end. So in all the ways it is excellent. The old is destroyed. There is no new origination. Their minds are dispassionate towards future existence. With seeds destroyed, with no desire for growth, those wise ones are exhausted. Like this lamp, this too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth may there be safety. So this is a state of mind of an Arahant, and it is kind of giving drawing a picture of the time when the Arahant's body has to be discarded. That time comes, that means the old is destroyed. The old body which is there, it is destroyed. There is no new origination. But after the body has been destroyed, there is no coming back to another body. That samsara, the cycle of samsara is not there. So there is no new origination. Their minds are dispassionate towards future existence. So their minds are so pure that they don't want any kind of future existence. Even a anagami has certain desire, which is a subtle desire to exist in a deva realm. So that desire kind of stops him from getting released from the samsara immediately. But a arahant has the minds which are dispassionate towards future existence. That is the reason there is no origination and there is no new body the consciousness is running after. With seeds destroyed, with no desire for growth. Seeds are all the karmic seeds which we have. All those karmic seeds have been destroyed in a person who is an arahant. So the seeds are destroyed and there is no desire for growth. Means there is no desire or there is no craving for anything. Those wise ones are exhausted like this lamp. So this is also drawing a picture of a oil lamp. In the oil lamp, when the oil is finished and the wick which is there is burnt out, then there is nothing left over there which can catch fire, or there is no fuel also left for the future fire to start. So this lamp, as it is fully exhausted, that same way the arahant has fully exhausted all his cravings, all his desires, all his attachments, all his clingings. So all those have been gone, and now there is no passing on of this flame to another physical being. This too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth, may there be safety. So this is also a truth in the Sangha, and by this there should be safety. Whatever beings are gathered here, whether of the earth or in the sky, we pay homage to the thus gone Buddha, venerated by devas and humans. May there be safety. So now they are kind of winding up and kind of saying, addressing the beings which are gathered. Whatever beings are gathered here, whether of the earth or in the sky. Earth means the earthborn deva. In the sky means the devas in the heavenly realms which are there. We pay homage to thus gone Buddha, venerated by devas and humans. May there be safety. So they first venerate the Buddha. Whatever beings are gathered here, whether of the earth or in the sky, we pay homage to the thus gone Dhamma, venerated by devas and humans. May there be safety. So they are paying homage to the Dhamma. Whatever beings are gathered here, whether of earth or in the sky, we pay homage to the thus gone Sangha, venerated by devas and humans. May there be safety. So they venerate the Sangha. So Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, the triple gems, they are venerating. So this sutta is very important in kind of illuminating a lot of points, and it is kind of giving us some information about the mind state or the situation which is there at the time of the Buddha. So it has a lot of information about the practices which are there and how a metta can be done for all beings, and how by this metta we are kind of seeking safety. So by acknowledging the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha, we are seeking safety from ourselves. And if you see this current situation for the few years, you can see that these are the situations also which are mentioned by the Buddha in the sutta, where he mentions that if people are not following the precepts and they are kind of being wavered, then the devas kind of decide to punish the human being. The descriptions which have been given are very similar to what has happened in the last 2 or 3 years. And it can be even worse. The worst descriptions have also been given in the suttas. So as human beings, we have to acknowledge that those powers which are there, they are kind of not happy when we are not keeping the precepts. And when we keep the precepts, we kind of acknowledge the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha, then that kind of leads to our safety. So this concludes the sutta, and if there are any questions, we are open for questions now. Do you have any questions?
Hello, Bhante. I'm afraid my video is not working. Can you hear me?
No problem.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Good. Thank you for this. There's so much in such a short sutta, but I wanted to just bring up the breaking of the precepts. And you were saying about the person who was drinking, and but they took the precepts again, and then they died. Now, for me, and please give me some indication around this. What matters here is the sincerity in which they retake the precepts, not that simply doing that process of
correct. Very good. Yes. That is very important. That is what kind of is important over here, is that the mind is not this is not a kind of a empty process whereby it's not a cope out. When we do a kind of error, and we can say, okay, I can always take the precepts once again. I want to kind of do whatever I want to do, and then I will take the precepts. That is very correct. That was kind of a very nice point kind of you have pointed out. That is very important in the Buddha's teaching, is that you are given these things, the options and the process, but those process are to be done in a sincere manner. So when you are taking the precepts, just taking the precepts blindly is not enough. You have to kind of acknowledge, recognize, and kind of know what you are doing. So that was a very good point you have pointed out. Yes, that mind sincerity has to be there when you are taking the precepts.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
There is one question there saying that the 8%, the 8% praised by the good constitute these 4 pairs. Who are they? 8%. So okay, so first is the Sotapanna with the path. So Sotapanna with the path means that he has the insight. The way Bhante Vimal Ramsi kind of explains is that when one person who is a meditator has the first cessation experience, he has a Sotapanna path. But if he does certain kind of heinous activities, which are called killing the mother, killing the father, killing an arahant, causing schism in the Sangha, injuring a Buddha, if those kind of activities are taken up, then, or habitually kind of breaking precepts, if any of the 6 activities are taken up by that person, then he kind of can fall back from the attainment of Sotapanna path. Okay, but if the person who has attained path progresses on this path, then he can attain the fruit of Sotapanna. When he attains the fruit of Sotapanna, there is no way he can fall back. That is the another verse Buddha mentioned, that however heedless he is, maybe because of his becoming a Sotapanna, earning so many merits, he may get wealth, he may get praise, he may get position, he may get power. And due to this power, position, and wealth, he may kind of neglect his practice. But even if he neglects his practice and from one lifetime to another, he continues, but he will not see a 8th path, because his mental inclination has changed. And slowly, he will come to the right path and be able to attain Nibbana. So that is the fruition. So that becomes a first pair. Second is Sagdagami path and Sagdagami fruition. So in the same way, Sagdagami path and fruition is mentioned as certain times there are mental mental activities which are there, which you are not concentrating well. That time you can fall back from the Sagdagami path. But if you are having the fruition, then you will not fall back from the Sagdagami path. You will only have one lifetime to come back. So that becomes the 4. Sotapanna path and fruition, Sagdagami path and fruition. Then the 5th is the Anagami with the path and Anagami with the fruition. Then Arahant with a path and Arahant with a fruition. So that constitutes 8 people who are forming 4 pairs. And one other thing is that in many kind of traditions, they believe that when you attain Sotapanna path, you attain the fruition in the next Javana movement. That is not possible, because if that is possible, then what happens is then there cannot be 4 pairs of people. There can be only 4 pairs of 4 individuals. So there are 4 pairs of individuals and 8 types of beings, because there is a time between the path and the fruition. It can be 1 day, it can be also 1 hour, but there is a time which is there. You have to strive and attain that, because it is also your level of understanding, your level of getting insight into the working of the mind, how the mind is going from one thing to another, how it is impersonal, and how dependent origination is important in the working of the mind. So when you are getting the wisdom, that time you are progressing and attaining the fruition or the path, and by that practice itself you are growing. So that becomes the 8. If attain Nibbana, is that mean will be not reborn anymore? Nibbana means that if you are becoming an Arahant. So because Bhante Vimalaramsi kind of explains it in a way that each time when you have a cessation experience, you will have a Nibbana experience, which is the insight into how the mind is working. It will appear in a different manner for each individual. So we say if a person is an Arahant, then he will not face any rebirth, because there is no desire, because your consciousness which is there has been cleared of all kinds of clinging and cravings. When you have no clinging and cravings, then there is no possibility of the movement. So when you are there in this life also, you can see how do you move in your own house also. If you are going from your table to your kitchen to have water, that desire for the water comes in, and then our kind of body moves and we go for the water. Without that desire for water, then we are just sitting on the table and we are doing our job or whatever activity which you are doing, we continue to do. So without desire, we don't even move from our table or chair to the kitchen or to another room. So that means that the desire is the main part of movement. So if there is no desire, then there can be no movement. So there is no reaching out for the another existence. When there is no reaching out of the another existence, then the body kind of disintegrates, because body is made of physical attributes. They have this physical attribute currently for 100 years. A body can stay, and beyond 100 years also, it is very difficult for the person to kind of walk or survive in normal fashion. So this body kind of has a time period. After that, it decays and falls off. So the consciousness, if it is not grasping for the another something, then it does not kind of create another body. It does not go to another existence. And thus, this existence becomes the last existence. So Buddha once kind of gave in a very graphic manner, there was a monk who had passed away. And there was a cloud which was there, a white or a dark cloud, black cloud was kind of going around. So the monks asked, what is this black cloud around this monk? Buddha said that is Mara. He is looking for the person. And that person has attained awakening. He was an Arahant before he passed away. And thus the Mara is unable to find. What happens before he attains the arahantship is that he is in very ill, and he is falling off and off the path. That is, he got the path of arahant, but he was not getting fruition. He was falling off. But ultimately, he kind of attained the fruition just before his passing away. And that is the reason Mara was confused, because he was able to see the person and wanted to kind of make him go to the wrong direction. So once he attained arahantship and he passed away, the Mara was confused. So in that way also a physically visual description has been given in the suttas, that how it is not possible for an arahant to have another birth. So is it okay, the explanation?
Yeah, thank you, Bhante.
Okay, is there any other questions? Yes, Sharmaji.
What are these sounds?
This is our temple has for this period of rain retreats. After that few months, they call certain monks for periodically for giving Dhamma desanas. So there is one Dhamma desana which just kind of finished.
See,
and
desires you are speaking to take, yes, the next existence. We have a desire up to, yeah, anagami level.
Correct.
Great. The desires at the lower level also will crop up at the higher level. Desires of the lower level are nothing but even breaking the precepts. Will it happen?
No.
Now you have spoken about the drinking habit. Only stream entry is okay, because he is in a worldly, he is with a worldly smell, and in the family he is set up, he is available. When we grow up in the ladder.
So it is explained that, so it has been clearly explained. So in Sotapanna, it has been explained that what are the three fetters the person kind of leaves. Then in Sakadagami, there are two things which are weakened, which are the desire, which is for sensual pleasures, and the hatred or aversion. Aversion and sensual desires are weakened in a Sotapanna. Okay, so he may fall certain times. Sakadagami. He may fall certain times, but he is aware. He cannot conceal that thing. Then when he is going to Anagami, these two things also fall. So aversion falls, and what falls away? The cravings falls away. So that time Buddha gives a very kind of description that if a monk who is a Anagami eats some good food, it is not a hindrance for him, because he will not get attached to it. So sensual desires which are there, they will not get attached to that sensual desire when he's in Anagami. And he will not have aversions. If somebody comes and kind of scolds the person or uses harsh words, it is not possible. Or if it is possible, then it is confirmed that he is not an Anagami. So if he has sensual desires of food or a taste, or if he is averse to certain things, I don't like heat, I want AC room, I don't like this thing, I want only this kind of cloth, I want a comfortable travel, I cannot kind of have uncomfortable travel. If that all things are there, then the person is not an Anagami, because the sensual desire and the aversion are totally removed from a Anagami. So that is clearly mentioned. Two things cannot exist together.
This is what two things cannot exist together. That is correct. At the same time, so the desire for the lower rungs of enjoyment to be
will be slowly
to be should not be there. Should not be there when we grow high.
Correct. We should that should not be there. And it should go naturally.
Will it happen at least in stray cases?
In stray cases, if it is happening, then a person may be a Sakadagami. If it is happening in stray cases, then it is a Sakadagami, the person is there. It is very weak. So not for a long time it happens, but certain times it may happen. For all the things, they don't happen. But if you tell something about the guru, of his guru, then he may kind of get angry. Aversion is there for a certain amount of time,
Angry, I never saw. Angry, I never saw. But thing is, when Dhamma talks goes on, karma will not work for me. Dhamma talks goes on, when the particular juncture, karma will never work with me, and I will forget everything, and I will concentrate only on that particular talk only. It happened to me.
That's good.
But how come, if that person is not of that stature, how this can happen? This is what
concentration is one, samatha is one thing, and vipassana is another thing, and the knowledge and vision is another thing. Okay, so you may have concentration or collectedness of mind, and that is one thing, but to have the wisdom is something separate. So wisdom is developed by seeing, and for the seeing, the mind to be collected is important. If I have to see this and I have a collected mind, I'll be able to kind of observe this very well. If my mind is going here or there, then my observation of this will become weak. So collectedness is useful. The vipassana is the knowledge which is gained from that observation. So there is a concentration or a collectedness, and there is a gaining of knowledge. Now, when the gaining of knowledge gets fulfilled, then there is a knowledge and vision. So you are able to see that. When you are able to see what is good as good, what is bad as bad, then you are able to let go of the bad and kind of retain the good. And by that process itself, you kind of give up certain things forever. Then while your wisdom develops, then naturally you give up certain things forever, because it becomes so obvious for you that this is poison, that sensual desire is poison, aversion is poison, I cannot consume that. Then it goes. Then there are very subtle things which remains, that as conceit is there, for to become something, to
conceit, restlessness, or sleep and torpor, or anything. These three are common with the anagami also. I am speaking about the lower level desires.
Lower level desires can come in Sakdagami, and that is mentioned in one of the suttas also. He kind of comes and says there is a kind of question answers. I think this is sutta is taken in Majjhima Nikaya. It is also read in the this thing our retreats. So I think 43 or 44 there it is mentioned once. And in the commentaries it mentioned that the question was asked in such a manner because the person was a Saktagami. He kind of says that why do I kind of fall for the sensual desire even when I am developed in mind? So because he's a Saktagami, sometimes he falls for the sensual desires or aversion. That can happen.
I am of the opinion that by maturity of mind or anything or age, I may be like that, because a child is happening. All of a sudden, can he have all such? Can he succumb to that lower level of desires? Is he coming to that?
As a child,
a child in the sense he is 30 years old. 30 years old. Is he coming? Is he facing all such hindrances? That's what I am feeling.
We have to say that there are many differences in human beings. So we don't know what kind of a past has happened to a human being. So a 30-year-old can be a very wise person, wiser than a 100-year-old. And it can be that a 100-year-old can be kind of a immature as a teenager. So that can be possible.
As a anagami at the age of 30.
Yes.
Can he behave like 20 years? That's what.
Yeah, he cannot behave immaturely. If he is at 30, he is an anagami, then he has to kind of have this aversion in the control. Control means aversion is totally destroyed and the sensual desire is totally destroyed.
Bante, with folded hands, I am asking you.
Yes.
The reason is I am aged. You are having saffron cloud. You are already in that mode.
Yes.
If both of us are not available, if there is a child, in the sense youth, can is he facing Mara with all such hindrances? That is my sincere question to you.
Yeah, as an anagami, he cannot. If he is facing that, he may be a sagadagami or a sotapanna, or he may be just a putujana. So there is.
You did not face such people so far.
I have faced a lot of people, different people of different kind of persuasion.
When a person goes like a cessation for 2 hours, 3 hours like this, at anagami or arahant level, as prescribed in the suttas, can he come to the desires with the desires of eating, taking alcohol? And because you mentioned about the alcohol, that's why I'm coming down to that.
No, that is not possible.
Alcohol or meat or anything.
No.
Your AC class or something you are saying.
That should not be there, because then aversion of those things should not be there. You cannot say a person is an anagami and then say he has requirements for this kind of food, that kind of clothing, this kind of temperature. Those kind of aversions and sensual desires will not be there.
They are coming under sensual desires.
Sensual desires, yes.
But if he is insisting for that,
then it is kind of a wrong mindset. He is not that person, or he has by himself made a wrong kind of assessment. Buddha kind of mentions in many of the suttas.
He goes for the cessation of a anagami.
When
he takes a determination for cessation, yes, my flight is for next travel 5 hours. If it is for 2 hours, I should be in a cessation. He can go for that and come back after 2 hours.
Cessation, this is also kind of if he is one-pointed concentration and he's going to a first jhana of one-pointed, that would be the same feeling of cessation.
But
so we never know.
Cessation is nothing but equanimity with anagami level and arhant level only. That is possible. Even if you hit him, he will not come back.
No, that we cannot know, because we.
That is cessation. That's cessation I am speaking.
You are speaking correct cessation. You are speaking correct cessation. What I am saying is, certain individuals may go into first jhana and think they are in cessation because their mind is not moving. Even in the first jhana, if somebody hits you, slaps you, cuts your hand, and again stitches back, you would not know. But that is not a cessation.
It is absorption. It is
absorption. So that's
like in our Patanjali Yoga Sutras.
Yes, so that can happen, and that means that the person is kind of overestimated his attainments. That can happen.
That can happen. Okay.
Over expectation. I'll just read Sarah's message also. You mentioned that anagami can have subtle desire for deva rebirth. How would a deva access the reaching? Why would devas punish when human beings are disconnected from the precepts? So deva rebirth is like in the Brahma realm, the person kind of has a desire. So that is the reason he is able to go there, because he has already attained a certain amount of understanding and development of mind. When he goes to the Brahma realm, he continues that practice, and in short time, in medium time, or in the long time, he will be able to attain. That short time means after reaching very short period of time, he will attain, or he will stay for one deva lifetime, or he will stay for 5 Brahma loka lifetimes, and then he will attain. That is a long time. It may be calculated in hundreds of billions of years. He may be there in the Brahma realms. After that, he may attain. Also, can you explain about the consciousness that moves to another life? How does this interlink with the impersonal state arising in Gyo, when we refer to eye consciousness, nose consciousness, through all the sense doors? It is very easy. See, as of now, also as the Bhante explains, this is 100,000 sound consciousnesses. That means the consciousness arises and falls away, arises and falls away. This is constantly happening. So when in the body, it's time for the body to kind of fall away. So the last consciousness over here is false, and then it arises in the next place where the mind's inclination is there. So if the mind is happy and light, it will go up. If it is heavy, then it will go down. So that is explained in this way. Exactly in scientific kind of term, we cannot explain. It is explained in a broad manner because those things can be experienced in meditation. When you are in infinite consciousness, you will be able to know the arising and the falling and the escape. So that is something which you can say what is happening. So the last consciousness over here is appears as a new consciousness in the next place. So that happens.
Next
Can I ask
place
something else?
Next
Yes,
place
yes,
or next existence?
Next existence, yes.
Okay.
It can be anything. It can be anywhere. Yes.
I just wanted to ask, with what you've just said, that sounds like then the state of mind at the point of death, the actual thought pattern is completely pivotal to what happens next. So how does that work, dependent on the level you're at generally? You've been describing how Sakyagamis still have certain tendencies and Anagamis have certain tendencies. There's all of that mental development in them. But if at the point of death,
yeah, so that is what the development of mind is about. When you are doing meditation, when you are doing a certain kind of practices, like keeping precepts or kind of just contemplating on Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. That's a basic kind of thing a human being can do. Keep precepts and contemplate on Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So if the person is doing that, then what is the person is doing is he is retraining his mind from the habitual tendencies it had. Okay, so it is accumulating the new habits. And those habits come into effect when the person is passing away. Now, if a person has just done good deeds, okay, so they has done good deeds the whole life, and at the point of his death, there are certain karmic balances which are there, which has to be fulfilled, okay, and that comes into effect, and the person kind of goes to the hell realm. He has done good deeds. All these good deeds are accumulated, but after his hell realms, he will get the fruit of the good deeds. There's one story in the suttas. The Buddha is approached by a king, and he's asked, "Where is my wife?" His wife has passed away. He comes and he says, "Where is my wife?" So the Buddha does not speak. He comes for 6 days. He does not speak. On the 7th day, the Buddha says, "Your wife is in heaven." So the king is happy and he goes. So Ananda or another monk asked him that, why did you not speak for 6 days? So the Buddha says that there was a certain amount of bad karma. So she first went 6 days to the hell, and I did not want to distress him by this news, the king. And after on the 7th day, she moved to the heaven. So when she was in heaven, I kind of informed the king. So that can also happen. So karma works in a very complicated manner. And the Buddha said that if other than a Buddha tries to kind of understand the karmic working, he may become mad. So we should not overthink about this. And broadly, we should know that if you do good, definitely you will receive the good results. In the immediate sense, when you do something like a dana, she mentioned about dana. So if you do good, immediately you feel good by doing the dana. That is immediate karmic benefit. Medium benefit could be that in certain amount of time, 5 day, 10 day, month, somebody comes and gives you a gift. That is in a medium term, and it can be long term, and maybe one lifetime or more than one lifetime. After that, you can get benefit, or you can get benefit for many lifetimes. Aniruddha was asked by a monk that you have stayed in many of the Deva realms, because Aniruddha had stayed for so much time in the Deva realms, he could not even recollect when he was a human being. He stayed in the Deva realms for so long. So that can also happen, that your karmic benefits are so much that it can spill over to many lifetimes of benefit. So it's a complicated thing. Yes, Sarmaji. Yes.
When you are asking, specifically asking a particular question, if I am keeping silent means, is it acceptable as per my precepts? The Buddha stayed for
Yes.
6 days.
Yeah, silence is an acceptable response. Buddha also was silent at many of the things, and because silence is a way of there are certain situations that when you say yes or when you say no, both are wrong. Okay, so when you say anything that may kind of create an issue, so silence is the best policy.
Okay.
Okay, so is there any other questions? Okay, then we'll conclude this. We had a good session. So I'll share the merit. May suffering once be suffering free, and the fear struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensations. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bante.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Bante.
Look for
Bye,
Sister.
everyone.
Bye.